Hello, I hope that all of you who have already joined in can hear me well. I can also see that some more people are still joining in, so let's wait a couple more minutes and then we can start. Let's give it one more minute to allow for some more people to join in and we will start. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us for today's Colorful webinar. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Michael and one of the business development managers here at Zurko. So what do we have on our agenda today? First, we're going to touch on the latest consumer trends. Then we will share some valuable insights on evaluation methods from a testing lab's perspective. And in the third part, we will go into details on different testing methods and claims for ColorCosmetics. And we will finish off with a Q&A session. So what are some of the latest consumer trends? Product permanence, skinification, sustainability, luxury, and influencers and makeup artists. So let's take a closer look at each one of these. As we all know, consumers are becoming more informed and also more demanding. This is why we're seeing more varied and ambitious claims for makeup products. Water resistance, no transfer, or long wear have been around for quite some time, but newer claims like sweatproof are now starting to compete with them. Let's take sweat resistance as an example. Many consumers are looking for products to help them preserve their good appearance in hot and humid conditions or during a physical activity. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when people are doing exercise, they don't really want to sweat their makeup off, right? Another very popular consumer trend is skinification. I guess some of you may have heard of it in relation to hair care, but we can see how it has spread onto color cosmetics as well, and big times. Many makeup products are now also being formulated with active ingredients like those for anti-aging, antioxidant, depigmenting, and sun protection properties as well, for example. And therefore, makeup products are turning into multifunctional products, something which also increases the quality perception by the consumers. So to sum up, these all-around cosmetics now offer benefits like moisturization or tone correction that allow consumers to simplify their beauty routine without, having to sacrifice on efficacy. So what else are consumers looking for? Well, products that are environmentally friendly, in the sense that they minimize packaging waste, reduce plastic waste, and product spills. This trend is especially popular among the young generation, which is very concerned about the state of our planet. And what else is relevant here? Well, compostable packaging, recycled materials, refillable options, or even biodegradable formulas. Basically all those that reflect a commitment to sustainability. As I have said, some consumers look for sustainable products and others are attracted more by distinction and prestige. Here we can find several brands, especially those that have been historically associated with the world of fashion and luxury. In these type of luxury cosmetics, consumers are looking for effective products with a superior sensory experience, elegant packaging, innovative formulas, and even product personalization. So what role do the influencers and makeup artists play in consumer trends? We can see that celebrity brands capitalize on the popularity and personal style of celebrities, offering a unique connection with their fans, inspiring trust and loyalty. Some of the best examples to give would be Mario, the makeup artist launching his own brand, Rihanna and her Fenty Beauty, 𝗀𝗿𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 𝗺𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 moving on, the next part will be focused on trends from a testing house point of view, such as we are. So for those of you who don't know us, who actually are we? We're ZurkoResearch, one of the main European testing houses for cosmetics, and we've been around for almost 20 years. We're an international company with several specialized testing sites across Spain, offices in Spain and New York, and clients all over the world. And thanks to our large database of subjects, we can actually carry out a high number of clinical safety and efficacy studies. And I hope this upcoming part will be especially interesting for you. As a CRO, we've been testing makeup products for more than 10 years, and these are the main trends we have seen. Rise in importance of clinical grading, race for claims, skin benefits of color cosmetics, increased concern for safety testing, and diversity of panelists. So let's get started with this part. What we have basically seen as a trend in the recent years is a growing demand for color cosmetics testing in general, and also testing for more claims for each product. In this sense, clinical grading has become a crucial evaluation. Using different scales, we want to see the efficacy and results of the products, whether it is done through photos or live, in person grading. And unlike in skincare, where you can actually substantiate most claims through instrumental measurements, many makeup claims can only really be evaluated through clinical grading. What we really need to make sure is that results obtained are reliable and reproducible. The first key element of this is having well-established and validated protocols. The second key element would be related to graders training. So how do we go on about this? Well, all our graders participate in an ongoing training program to check on their own alignment and in between each other. To give an example, using a scale, they should score the same subject on day 1 and day 2 with the same results. And the color cosmetics market is not just growing, but also evolving and becoming more competitive. It has almost become a Formula One race. But in this case, the race is not for the number of trophies, but the number of claims. Simplicity must be left aside, as makeup is no longer just about the color, but about its additional benefits as well. Its durability is also expected to be higher, both in terms of time, referring to long-lasting claims here, as well as in terms of its resistance. There is a constant change in the most popular claims based on consumers' expectations. And to sum up for this slide, in these days, consumers are really expecting to buy SUV all-terrain cars capable of doing pretty much anything. So what's the link between color cosmetics and skincare? When we talk about color cosmetics and their benefits to the skin, we can talk about reduced appearance of fine lines and wrinkle smoothness, increased hydration or moisturization, and an improvement in the skin barrier function or the skin tone. We can also tackle skincare concerns like acne-prone skin, mainly evaluating the non-comedogenic, sebum regulation, shine control, as well as the appearance of pores. And addressing these concerns can even have a positive impact on the quality of life and the self-esteem of the consumers. Safety testing is always an area of concern, especially now with regulations such as MOCRA in the US. Given that many color cosmetics, including lipsticks, eyeshadows, and mascaras, come into direct contact with sensitive areas such as the eyes and mouth, testing products under normal conditions of use has also become more popular. And you can always have these studies supervised by medical professionals, especially dermatologists and ophthalmologists, to ensure their safety in use as well. The demand to include diverse panelists in makeup studies is also increasing. Whether we're talking about including different ethnicities, ages, genders, and skin types, all of these help companies to make sure that their products are safe and effective for everyone. And ultimately, all of this becomes a powerful marketing tool promoting inclusivity across the globe. And now let's get into the exciting part, the claims business. So first, we're going to talk about some testing methods and trending claims. Then about skincare benefits transferred onto color cosmetics. And finally, we'll be touching upon testing approaches for claims related to the lips and eyelashes. Starting with longwear. What do we really want to prove in a longwear efficacy study? Well, mainly there are products like a foundation, lipstick, or a blusher remains on our skin as long as possible, and in a good condition as well. To make this evaluation possible, it's important to take well-standardized HD photos. Next steps would be to take pictures before and after the product application, once the product has actually settled on the skin. After this, we would repeat the photo taking process at all the desired checkpoints. And as a general advice for all of you, Makeup products should be aiming for at least an 8-hour efficacy to be able to support the long wear claim. And given that there is a very wide range of claims for the proof efficacy, such as feather-proof, sweat and humidity-proof, waterproof, transfer-proof, crease-proof, flake-proof, smudge-proof, and the list probably doesn't even end here. On this particular slide, we will only focus on the most popular ones and those with an immediate evaluation. So let's start with smudge-proof. How annoying is it when after applying makeup you touch or intentionally rub your face or lips and it ends up smudging and moving out of the place? A smudge-proof efficacy test would be the perfect solution to avoid this from happening. Why? Because it verifies that the makeup remains in the right place after rubbing it with a finger. And what happens if you like playing sports or want to stay out on the sun in the summer, or you just live in a place with high temperature and humidity conditions? I'd assume this would probably make you want to use a product that is both sweat and humidity proof, right? At our lab, we can stimulate these conditions using a specific device such as a facial sauna or a hot room for products designed to be used on the body to make such evaluation possible. In a waterproof efficacy study, we test the resistance of the product to the application of water. So those who enjoy going to the beach, pool, or just simply have to deal with rainy weather would appreciate products with such claim. And many consumers also perceive the resistance to water as an indicator of something that will last longer. There are two key testing parts that must be standardized for this study. These include controlling both the amount or volume of water sprayed, as well as the distance from which it is sprayed. And I'm sure you've all been in a situation where either you directly or someone else left a lipstick mark on your face and you wish it had been kiss-proof. Or you just simply hug someone and oops, the makeup ended up staining their clothes. So how can you avoid such awkward situation, making sure this doesn't happen again? Our transfer protocol takes all this into consideration. Once the product has been applied and it has settled, we would apply suitable tissue to observe the amount of color it has transferred onto it. What other types of popular claims can be tested? Let's start with no flashback. Have you ever looked forward to receiving photos of yours from an important event and when they came in, you noticed a white cast on your face? This is probably due to a reflection or glare caused by some cosmetic ingredients when exposed to a camera flash. Thanks to the no flashback efficacy, we can avoid such unpleasant surprises we observe quite commonly with products like concealers, setting powders, or those with sun protection. High coverage may be a good option for those consumers with concerns related to their uneven skin tone, dark circles under the eyes, blemishes, or acne marks. For this study, we evaluate how the skin tone looks after product application of a concealer or foundation. Here it's of course important to be able to see that the appearance of imperfection on bare face reduces after having applied the makeup. So what are the most popular skincare benefits transferred onto ColorCosmetics? Let's start with hydration. Whether the evaluation is carried out on the expected area of product use or on the forearms, 𝗀𝗄𝗃 would be your best friend and the gold standards for this evaluation. For the improvement in skin texture or appearance of expression lines, we can either use the Primus equipment or rely on clinical grading. When it comes to skin tone, we can see how it becomes more unified with less noticeable hyperpigmentation and redness. Apart from clinical grading evaluation, 𝗻𝗀 equipment can also be used as it provides us with data on melanin and hemoglobin present in the skin. And for people with acne-prone skin and an excess of sebum, we can evaluate the sebum regulating efficacy and non-comedogenicity. To measure the sebum regulating efficacy, we would use the SEBUmeter device, and for non-comedogenicity, our dermatologist would perform an acne lesions count. And while consumers with a combination or oily skin look for mattifying effects in their primers or foundations, people with dry and more dull skin look for the opposite effect, let's say a healthy glow. In this case, the glossimeter probe would be the evaluation method of choice, as it would give us data on the increase or decrease in gloss/shine. And to further strengthen all the claims, all these studies can be accompanied by a dermatological and ophthalmological safety evaluation in case the product could come into direct contact with the eyes. When focusing specifically on claims for lip products, apart from those already mentioned on some of the previous slides, we can also carry out the evaluation of the lip plumpness, to the volume, and lip smoothing. When it comes to the plumping effect of lips, we're looking for an immediate effect to give our lips a more prominent look and juicy appearance. This can be done either with clinical grading, or we can measure lip volume with 𝗿𝗿 equipment. The 𝗿𝗿 equipment will allow us to obtain both objective data to analyze the increase in volume, as well as 3D images for marketing purposes, like the ones that you can see in the upper part of the slide. And if you're looking to verify whether the lip skin appears smoother, in addition to clinical expert evaluation, we can also resort to the use of Primus instrument and obtain additional image support as well, be the pictures you can see at the bottom. And for eye makeup claims, we have really only picked those specifically related to the eyelashes and that have been gaining more popularity. These include their volume and length, curvature and lift, as well as their strength. With the use of a mascara, we can look for multiple claims, not just very common ones like long wear and waterproof I've already mentioned before, but also we can also zoom in on the mascara and analyze many specific claims. For lash volume, we can perform a detailed pixel analysis. For lash lengthening, we can analyze how the length increases in millimeters, inches, or even pixels as well. And for their curvature and lift effect, we would use specific software to analyze the degree of change in the angle. And finally, for their increase in strength, the evaluation can be carried out with a tensile test that's normally used for hair care products. And to keep the summary short and sweet, I will just highlight the main points of today's webinar. that include the fact that there is a very wide and an ever-growing variety of claims that can be tested for color cosmetics, that the options for testing are not limited to carrying out clinical expert evaluations only, but we can also take measurements with equipment or even combine both together. And the fact that the era of pure color cosmetics is over, and companies are now trying to include more skincare, safety, and subjective efficacy claims as well. Do you agree with me on this one?
I can see that some of you have already sent some questions during the presentation, but for those of you who haven't got a chance to do it yet, I'll give you some more time. And I think given the time we have left, I'll just pick a few questions to answer directly here, and our team will then contact you via email and answer the remaining ones, if that's okay. So let's start with this one, for example. Can you give more detail on the 16-hour overnight? Yes, assuming that you're referring to the long wear claim. Well, in this case, what we mean by overnight is that the participating subjects would keep the makeup on throughout the night. So basically sleep with it without removing it before going to bed. And the 16-hour evaluation checkpoint would be done the next day. So to clarify, all of the claims of up to 12 hours would be evaluated during the same day, and anything over this would have to be done after having slept with the product on, if it makes sense. Next question. How reliable are the results of clinical grading? Well, the results of clinical grading are treated objectively. So it's like as if they were like the output of an equipment. And of course they undergo statistical analysis as well. What makes them reliable is the fact that standardized protocols and established scales are being followed for the evaluation, and the fact that all the graders are aligned not with just themselves, but one with each other as well. So it's like a huge process behind all of this. Next one. How do you perform the product application in a makeup study? Well, it's always carried out by the lab staff or the technician in like a standardized way for all the subjects. Like no matter if it's using like the product directly, like a lipstick, for example, or if the application is done with hands or some other tools that might be needed, like brushes or sponges. It really depends on the product type. And I guess it's also worth mentioning here that the amount of product applied is actually controlled, as we would always weigh it on a precision scale. And let's go for the last one. What's your recommended number for testing? Thank you. Okay. What's your recommended number for testing? Thank you. Well, thank you. I'm assuming you're referring to the number of subjects, right? Well, typically we would recommend a panel of 30. So that's basically to be able to obtain statistically significant results. But there's no strict rule on this. Like the number of subjects can also depend on different factors, like the company size or their budget. So we test on higher number of subjects for some companies as well. But as I've said, we would typically recommend 30, and it should really never be less than 20. So you can actually get statistically significant results. So thank you so much for your time, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed our webinar. And just to remind you that if you have any other questions or need any more information, just feel free to reach out to us directly, either via email to our info email. That would be info@ZurkoResearch.com. So info at the name of our company.com, or directly to your point of contact if you already know us. Thank you.